أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So, there was this lady who said something to her friend. She said, "My life is a mess." And the reason I'm quoting her words is because someone who is going through depression will instantly relate to this. Because people in depression know how messy things can get inside of a person as well as outside. So, when she said, "My life is a mess," guess what response she got from her friend? Her friend nodded and then said, "Then you have to start tidying it up." My life is a mess. And the response is, then you have to start tidying it up. And that's what we are going to do, inshallah. But we also know that big changes don't happen overnight. So then what do? What we do is that we take small steps towards that big change. Big change, but with small steps. You know, one of the lessons that I learned from Surah Taha is that haste is not a good thing, even if the goal is success in the hereafter. When Prophet Musa a.s. hurried for the mountain, guess what Allah Azza wa Jal said to him? He said, "Why are you early?" It's so interesting, really. I mean, look at Musa a.s.'s intention. He wanted to talk to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's why he hurried. But what we learn from this is that haste will most probably derail our progress. So, slow and steady. What's the first step? Well, we are Muslims, so the first step for us is intention. They say set your priorities straight. We are Muslims, so the first thing that we do is we set our intentions straight. Why do we want to change? We have to ask ourselves this question, why do we want to change? And what's the answer? We want to change because we want to become much better versions of ourselves. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We want to be the best version of ourselves. You might have come across the quotation that when you know good, do good, and when you know better, do better. So when we rise up to become better, we can serve the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal in a far better way. He is our goal, As-Samad. And whatever efforts we put into improving ourselves is to get closer to Him. That's our intention for doing this work. We want to be better version of ourselves so that we can serve Allah Azza wa Jal in a much better way. Now this leads us to the second step, and that is supplication. We make dua. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You see the beauty of correct intention, don't you? If not, then let me explain. The moment you set your intention, you just took a huge step, a really, really huge step. You started the process of tidying up the mess. Because now, whatever efforts you put into bettering yourself will be an important part of your worship. Which means every time you're working on yourself, you are getting rewarded. Because why are you doing all this? To serve Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, isn't that beautiful? You are working on self-development, but you are getting rewarded for it because your intention is correct. As I said, the second step is supplication. As we recite in every prayer, it is you we worship and you we ask for help. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Now that we are set to walk on the path of self-development, we are going to need His help. By the way, I am going to add a link in the description about the meaning of Isti'ana by Ustad Noman Ali Khan. In that video, he has explained the ayah, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ in very, very beautiful way. If you can take time to watch that video, I can guarantee you will thank me for sharing that link. So, what's the third step? The first step is intention. The second step is supplication. And the third step is to listen, which you already are doing. It might not seem like a big step or even a small step for that matter, but I assure you, from my own experience, it is actually an important step. Because not everybody wants to change. Not everybody wants to listen. Not everybody wants to know how to change themselves. Most of the people want to change others, but how many are there who don't just want to change themselves but actually take steps to do it? Because wanting something and actually taking steps towards it, it's not the same thing. These are two different things. We know Allah Azza wa Jal in the Qur'an tells us that Allah doesn't change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. Allah doesn't change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. So yes, you have mashallah taken the first step towards change. Your intentions are right. You know you have to make dua and you are listening. But as we already established, we are going to do it slowly. When Allah Azza wa Jal says in Surah Muzammil, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, it just makes you stop and appreciate the beauty of pacing yourself. And you may have noticed that when you slow down your recitation in the prayer, your focus on your recitation, it sharpens. You become more focused, more aware of what you're reciting, more aware of where you are, what you're doing. So the first thing we are going to do is pace ourselves. Because we know from Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that haste is from shaitan. So we are not going to be hasty. We are going to do it slowly, steadily. Now I'm going to give you something to do. And you will do it, okay? The first thing is the description. In the description, the link that I have given, you are going to listen to it. It is very, very important, so you are going to listen to it. Don't ignore it. And the second thing is that you will have to buy a journal. See, I have got one. You are going to need a journal if you want to make those changes in your life. Okay? Don't just stop there. You set your intention. You know you have to make dua. You are listening. And I'm hoping you will check that link. You will watch that video. And the fifth step is that you are going to buy a journal. Buy a journal. If you don't buy a journal, I will speak way too slowly and bore you with these episodes. I'm sure you don't want that, right? If the journal is not available in the market yet, buy it online. I have bought this online too. And you are going to need it. This is not just for fun or something. This is really, really important. It will help you understand yourself. So make sure you buy a journal. And that's it for today. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.